Buddha says there is no God because you always end up blaming him. Everything has a cause and effect, and for everything we cannot hold God as responsible.
When you think about, like you said, that God is like our parents, right, our father, तो अगर वो सच है तो उनने इस दुनिया में दुख क्यों बनाया? Because there's a lot of theories, karma theory.
That's why Buddha says there is no God because you always end up blaming him.
तो क्या हम लोग ने ये दुख अपने लिए
हमने
बनाया?
जानबूझ के किया है. What did you study?
Me? I'm studying consciousness studies right now.
All right. And your brother?
He's an actor.
Actor, studying that. Suppose if you didn't study all these things or don't study all that, would you specialize in that? By studying physics, would you become a consciousness expert? By not studying medicine, would you become a doctor? No. So everything has a cause and effect. And for everything, we cannot hold God as responsible. He is not a tyrant.
So it's our karma that...
It's always karma.
But it's also from past life then, right?
Who created that past life? You did then. Yes, okay. For every little thing, we are responsible for our fate. We cannot blame anybody else. Of course, there are certain things others can influence. For example, you fall in love with someone, real love, true love, and that person happens to be of a different religion. Your mother will go crazy.
Yes.
She'll have sleepless night, and in order to satisfy her wishes, she might even say, "Is this the reason why I gave you birth? Is this the reason I gave you so much of luxury and I prepared you, and now you are marrying somebody against my wishes?" Then you might end up changing your mind. So now someone else was influential enough to change your destiny. That's what happened in Ramayana. Rama did not have his past karmas. He was Avatar Purusha.
Krishna.
Lord Rama.
Yeah, he was an avatar of...
Right? Vishnu. He did not have any past karmas. So how can he suffer?
But he suffered a lot.
And who influenced his destiny? You know, Vasishtha Muni, he said, this couple will be the best. Let them get married, Sita and Rama, right? Ideal couple, everything matching, horoscopes perfect. But no less a person than Mother Kaikeyi could change his destiny.
So does collective karma have to do a part of this, or a lot of people are involved?
You can logically argue, whatever it is, be it collective or be it individual, someone or yourself are responsible for your destiny, but never God.
You can't blame. What happened in the lives of, for example, Lord Ram, Lord Krishna, when we talked about or Mahabharata, all these situations, were these what you call leelas that were portrayed so that we could learn from them? How do you explain these situations?
Well, their lives represent multi-dimensional thing. Knowingly acting like a human, despite of the fact Rama was Avatar Purusha, he did not showcase his energies, his powers. He acted in a real human way and led an ideal life. Right? And he expected that everyone should learn from that life. The role of Krishna was different. He was born for a purpose, and especially to introduce bhakti, the principle of bhakti, to the generations coming then after. Mahabharata and other things are just incidental.
You know what's the most difficult thing, and a lot of people tell me this, is that when we talk about, for example, Mahabharata, where Lord Krishna is giving guidance to Arjuna in the midst of all the chaos. तो essentially जो हमारी ज़िंदगी है वो वैसी है, because कोई ना कोई problem, suffering, pain तो आएगी. लेकिन it's so difficult to think कि अगर, for example, some incidents, अगर आपके पास cancer है, कोई health issue है, financial loss हो गया, fire हो गया, उस time में going into spirituality, trying to make the right decision is very difficult. Arjuna had God, like real Lord Krishna in front of him. Who do we have to be able to guide us through that?
Well, even though he had God besides him, he never knew that that was Divine Purusha. He was absolutely ignorant about it. He treated him as a friend. It was only when Lord Krishna raised his consciousness at the moment of battle and look who I am, and made him see who he really was. It was only then he was convinced, not before that. And the times are, I think are very ripened today also. That Krishna, is he there? Very much. Just as he was then, he is very much here now too. Challenge him and see what happens. And believers should always challenge. They should not have blind faith.
I believe in Lord Krishna a lot.
But that's not right.
Okay, why isn't it?
You believe out of greed that he will do my things, and you are believing out of fear that if I don't.
My definition of personally speaking has changed a lot. When I was younger, I used to think God was some phenomenon that you could pray to him, or that he will do something bad to me. I think now, since I've grown older and kind of gotten deeper into spiritual studies, I know that God isn't a wishing well that you ask him something and he'll give it to you. There's a higher purpose. It's understanding what he's teaching. For example, I know a lot of people who believe in so-called Krishna, but they haven't read the Bhagavad Gita, or they haven't tried to understand the essence of those teachings. So for me, I personally believe it's more about what you can learn.
I tell you a drawback of mere belief. I tell you something, oh, there's a ghost in the next room. It's a belief, but enough to frighten you. So when you go to your room tonight and when it's all dark and the ghost will descend and things like that, it creates a psychological fear. Likewise, when we say there is this entity like God, it creates a positive feeling. Right or wrong, that doesn't matter. One creates fear by hearsay, another also creates love by hearsay. When there is sun in the sky, moon in the sky, stars in the sky, it's raining outside, do you believe they are there?
Believe what is there?
If sun is there, the moon is there, you don't have to believe because you are seeing it with your naked eyes. Do you see Krishna? We don't. That's why we believe. We end up believing. And we are happy by just believing. What are you going to do about your belief?
But Paramahansa Ramakrishna got real darshan of Kali Ma. Now what is that?
What made him see that? He must have done something. He did not stop at just belief.
No, he had Gyan Yoga. He knew the ultimate reality.
He was mad enough. He did something. He had such a strong craving. He had to descend. Craving. When you believe, you will never have craving. You are satisfied with your belief. Belief must turn into some level of hunger.
Thirst to find the
Thirst. You must become restless. My preceptor who introduced me, initiated me to this system, she used to say that her brother Whenever he would change the bed sheet in the morning, her brother's bed, she would find his pillow full of tears and wet. And one fine day, he saw a dream that, "Come to me, I will introduce you to God." And he went. He didn't know who was calling, but somehow he found from the description and found a guru, and then he was initiated by that. And these are the kind of sanskars we need to have in our lives. A true hunger for God.